Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another episode of Beat Making Sundays. This week I'm going to do something a little bit different. I made a video a couple weeks back. I had taken a video that faouzia did of a cover, and I thought her voice was just incredible. I didn't know much about her prior to discovering that video, but I felt incredibly compelled to do something special with it. The original just had her singing with a piano, and I thought this would be amazing as a full production. So I extracted the video from Instagram, was able to drop the audio into my audio workstation and built the beat from the ground up with just the vocal. So I was going to just show you guys how I did that and thought it would be kind of cool to check out. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, so the first thing we had, of course, was the vocal. So with the vocal itself, I added a couple EQ elements. Of course, when you're pulling it from a raw video recording on Instagram, the audio quality is not going to be the best. But, you know, and there wasn't a whole lot you could do with it, but I added a couple just EQ elements. I added this plugin called Nectar, which just pulled out some of the vocal elements that I really liked in the recording, that I thought would also lend itself really nicely for an R&B ballad type of song. So I used that. I also did a little bit of some EQing with the 560 from Waves, the API 560, so you can kind of hear a little preview of what it sounds like.
'Cause there is no guarantee that this life is easy, and when my world is falling apart and there's no light to break up the dark, that's when I look at you.
So as you kind of hear as it tails off, I added, of course, a little bit of reverb and delay to it as well, which I typically do to most vocals when I'm doing any mixing. And I added it to this one as well. I did a little bit of panning and other kind of things. It's really hard to do much with just a raw single file that you're trying to work with. So anyways, that's mostly what I did with the vocal. I tried to EQ out as much of the piano as I could, so I could let my instruments shine with her vocals still remaining. So yeah, I guess kind of going into it, the first element I added was the piano. So yeah, so with the piano, let's just hear it with the added, I did 2 layers of piano on this one. I did a low piano, and then I did some nicer, higher pitched elements. I can't play always everything in one take, so a little pro tip is, you know, for any kind of instrument, especially if it's piano, play the bass elements first, the chord progression, and then any melodic elements on top of that, I typically will do as a second take, and then just layer them on top of each other. So on this one, I added this piano.
'Cause there is no guarantee that this life is easy, and when my world is falling apart and there's no.
So I'm gonna mute out some of the vocal for now too. Right. So with this piano, something I did too was I EQ'd a lot of it out. My intention here was I wanted to make the piano sound pretty dark and moody. If you bypass the EQing, you can hear it. It's right. So I bypassed that, and you can hear it right when I turn it on. It starts. It's just a lot layer, so I dropped out a lot of the highs, some of the mids, and boosted some of the bass to give it that sound. So let's just do kind of a side by side real quick. This is with the EQ added. Now without. It's much brighter. And I wanted to get rid of that, so I removed it. Cool. So next after that, I added some of the melodic elements on top. So this is the second piano layer on top of the low piano. Yeah, so those are the two main piano elements in the beat. And then what I added after that were the drums. I like to really build a beat from a core main element, whether it's piano or guitar or some other kind of melodic element, and then pretty much early on add drums into it. So I added these drums. Pretty simple, pattern, pretty much just two kicks and then a big snare. I added a couple additional just elements on top of that too. One is a bit of a snare roll. I sometimes like to use a snare roll as a transitional piece in between, measures or something like that. And then I also added a couple toms. So check this out. That's it. Those are pretty much all of the drums. I didn't do much on top of that. But yeah, let's go into some more of the instruments. So right now I'm just gonna mute out any of the percussion elements so that you can hear some of the rest of the strings, the bass, the organ, and other elements that I added into it. So the next one is the strings. So for the strings, I decided to do kind of a arpeggiated, uplifting type of sound that I typically like to do in a lot of my ballad or really powerful R&B songs. So let's check that out. So how I do that is one piece. It sounds like it's going 1 3 5 3 1 3 5 3 1 3 5 3 1 3 5 3, but my left hand and my right hand are actually doing the inverse of each other. So my left hand is doing 1 3 5 3 1 3 5 3, and my right hand is doing 5 3 1 3 5 3 1 3. So it's like this. If you were to try to play that on the piano, you're going like that, okay? So something like this. Got it? So I added that to the beat. So next was the bass. The bass line, what I wanted to do with this was make it just complementary. I didn't want it to overtake the beat. And I wanted to almost sound like it was gliding, like it was kind of like throbbing or pumping a little bit. And so how I did this, I'll show you what it came out like first. Now without the piano. So all this is for the bass is basically just bass, basically. I think the biggest thing was adding the glide. So it was like. That's pretty much it. I've never done something like this before. I've done a lot of like glide basses, but in terms of it kind of like swinging up to the main note, I thought it was just kind of a cool element that I'd tried out for the first time with this one. And yeah, I guess really the last element that really brought the rest of the track together was an organ. So I just added the organ kind of in a similar way as the bass almost. Let's check out the organ with the piano. So what I did here was pretty much sustained notes in between each chord with some sliders similar to the bass. Something like this. Right? So this is kind of how it came out.